Today I'm reviewing the manga DN Angel by Yukiru Sugisaki. This is an older manga. It was released back in November of 1997. There has been an anime done as well of the series, and I believe there's also a second manga series that was based on the anime storyline as it apparently changed from the original manga's story. For this original manga, the story focuses on main character Daisuke. On his 14th birthday, two monumental events happen. First, he is rejected by his crush, who's named Risa. Secondly, he discovers his family's curse. When he thinks of his unrequited love, or sees her or spends too much time with her, he transforms into the phantom thief Dark. Dark not only looks different than Daisuke, but he actually has his own personality as well. So the two of them sort of are at odds in terms of what they want to do and what they want to accomplish. Now, of course, Daisuke wants to figure out how he can make all of this stop. And he's told by his mother that the only way is for him to get his crush to fall in love with him to return his affection. To complicate things a little bit further, Dark ends up getting a crush on Risa's twin sister, so in order for Daisuke to at least temporarily switch back to himself, Dark has to have the exact same thing. He has to think about his unrequited love, which is Riku. Based on this massive importance of love, you can probably guess that this manga was marketed as a shoujo manga. Which is kind of odd, seeing as how the main character is a male. Most of the ones that I'm familiar with usually focus on a female. Also seeing the fact that his whole point is to pursue and get a girl to fall in love with him. Which again, a lot of the shoujo manga that I have read have usually been the other way around. However, on a creepier take on this could be fulfilling that whole idea of women wanting to be able to think that they somehow changed and improved and saved the boys that are chasing after them. Perhaps it feeds into that whole fantasy, and in a way that is kind of a creepy idea, seeing as how the whole transformation of Daisuke into Dark, I would have to think, is a major allegory for puberty. I mean, after all, boys change, their voices change, their bodies change. It takes them a while to figure out who they are and how they inhabit this new body that they seem to sometimes have inherited overnight. I'm a little creeped out by the idea, though, that they're saying that the way that a guy gets that together is by getting his jiggy on with some girl. I'm not sure if that's the most amazing message that we should be presenting, especially in a comic book that even the comic itself admits that it is meant more for kids. I think I would have preferred Daisuke's situation of turning into Dark to be a bit more benign, something along the lines of Ranma's difficulty with water. In terms of the art, it's passable. I wouldn't say that I'm wowed by this first volume. Now, I understand that this is one of the earlier works of this particular artist, so perhaps things change, but in this first volume, there's not a lot of gradations between black and white. It's pretty much one or the other, which means that sometimes the images seem to be a little bit muddied. There's not as much detail as I'd love to see. If I had to have some complaint about the story, aside from the creepy factor of fall in love with me so that I can be fixed, it's the fact that the pacing seems kind of off. It seems very rushed. One moment, Daisuke's freaking out that, of course, what happened to me, to all of a sudden he's just going with it and stealing stuff. This doesn't make as much sense until we discover that Dark has his own personality. But even that isn't revealed until Daisuke's well into his first heist as Dark. Even though I'd say that the art in this particular volume is just about passable and that the plot seems a bit rushed and the pacing a little bit off, there are still lots of things to enjoy in this manga. It is a fun read. We are given a couple of story hooks that kind of make you really want to know what's going on. For instance, we don't know why Dark is a thief. Since Dark is an inherited curse, and he's always the thief, there must be some reason behind it, and that, I must admit, was a pretty good hook for me. Also, one of Daisuke's classmates is apparently working very closely with the police. In fact, he actually seems to be a bit of in charge of the investigation. So that's another reason that we're wondering, why is he involved and what's his stake in all of this? And of course, through the plot of the story, there's a couple of other things that I'll leave out because they're spoilery, but even they made me sort of think, I'd like to see where this goes. Overall, I wouldn't say that this manga is outstanding. That could be because of when it was written. As I said, it could be because it's one of the earlier works of this particular manga artist. She could very well progress. There are 15 volumes in this manga, so it's a fairly long series, so there could be a lot more to it. There could be a lot of evolution as the series goes on. And I would definitely give at least the second volume a try on this. I don't think it's something that I would rush to. It's something that I could get to eventually, but I did enjoy it. I had some fun with this manga, and I would not be opposed to checking out the second volume, especially if some of you have read it and thought that it was really great and that it's worth continuing. So that's my review on the manga DN Angel Volume 1. If you've read this manga or seen the anime, if you have some thoughts about this particular story or anything that I said in this video, by all means, please leave your comments down below and we can have some chats about it. So thanks very much for watching this review. If you like this review or you'd like to see some other videos on manga, anime, or science fiction novels, feel free to click on one of the links to the left. You can click on either one of the playlist links or subscribe to the channel and get all the newest stuff when it comes out. So thanks again for watching the video, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.